Hi guys, I'm here for the NXT UK back-to-back episodes review. Um, while watching the two episodes, I made a whole bunch of notes that I have on my other computer that's right here, so that's what I keep looking at, so that I can just go down the list to help me get this review going. So, both episodes had the same intro, not the same intro, I mean the same little, picture of Thomas Billington, a Dynamite Kid, and I know he passed away, so I don't know much about the British Bulldogs and that, but I know he passed away at age 60, and that's just really sad, so I don't know what to say, because I don't know much about him at all, but um, yeah, I don't know what to say. Just that my heart goes out to his family and his friends and to everyone, and I hope he rests in peace, honestly. Um, okay. Alright, after that and after the intro, this is episode 1, by the way. Wow. I'm doing great. It's my first review in a while, so just bear with me on this one. Um, it started out with them saying that Jordan Devlin was going to be facing Morgan Webster later on in the show. And I like the sound of that. I like the sound of Jordan and Morgan fighting together. Like, the thing with Jordan is, like, I really like his style and, like, the way he fights, because he reminds me of Finn Balor, and, like, I like that style. I don't care too much for his character, just his attitude just, like, bugs me. But with Morgan, it's like, I don't love him, but I don't hate him. Like, I do like the guy. I definitely like him, like, a lot more, and I just, I like seeing him in the ring, I guess. So I was happy with this. Um, the first segment was the Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang coming out. Um, oh my god. I liked Wolfgang so much the first time I saw him, and then when he suddenly, like, just turned and sided with the Coffee Brothers, like the first heel turn of NXT UK. I was blindsided, honestly, by this, and I was not ready for this at all. And ever since then, it's just been like, just his character, like, completely switched and became so, just, oh my god, it was annoying. It's been annoying, and I love it. I love that I feel this way. Like, this is kind of like heel stuff that I love. Like, I love feeling this annoyed and stuff, so it's great. But they came out and they're talking about how NXT UK is their kingdom. Well, the crowd didn't agree with that, and neither did I. So me and the UK crowd, like, had the same thought on that one, because it's like, no, not really, no, no. Um, but the segment got a lot better when Travis Banks, who, like, a couple months ago, or in this instance, a few weeks ago, like a couple episodes ago. I'm so confused with the back-to-back episodes, you guys. I don't even know what to call that, really. I don't know what to say a couple months ago, or a couple episodes ago, or a couple weeks ago, or what. So I'm just gonna say a little while ago, when the Coffee Brothers attacked Travis Banks and, like, hurt his arm, hurt his shoulder. It's cool that, like, he came back like that. Like, I love the fact that he came back. And so, he was just, like, staring at them, and finally he went to, like, go confront them, or, like, just beat them up, because, like, Joe said, why don't you just come down here and fight? And so Travis went, and he got the upper hand on Joe for a second, but then Mark and Wolfgang got in and just started beating him up, and just, like, started gaining on him pretty quickly. But the Mustache Mountain came out and came down to help him. So that was cool. I like that. So overall, like, and then that little segment ended with like the Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang retreating. Like they just left the ring, and Mustache Mountain and Travis Banks were just standing there in the ring, like just staring at them, like wanting them to come and like fight or something, but they just didn't want to. But I like that. Like I love the opening segment though. Like it's just it got me interested, and I love that. I love feeling interested. I love wanting to see more. You know, like just being entertained. I love that, and I like that. And the opening, while I don't like their characters like that much, while like oh, it does annoy me, I do at the same time like it. Um, okay, next it said that Fabian Achner, I I don't quite know how to say his name, is set to have his debut match against Mark Andrews next. Um, I don't know who Fabian is. Like, before NXT UK, I didn't watch anything, like, UK related when it came to wrestling. Like, all I watch is WWE, and, honestly, I'm, like, just watching NXT UK and NXT 205 Live and all that because it's WWE, and I want to, like, stay completely in the loop when it comes to WWE, which is why I'm doing this. And also because I really like the shows. And so, I don't know anything about Fabian. Mark Andrews, oh my god, I'm a fan. I really, really like him. Like, this his whole energy and his vibe, everything about him just makes me very happy. So, so yeah, knowing that he had a match coming up, like, next, like, made me very happy. But first, before that, Jordan Devlin gets interviewed, and he says that he took Pete Dunne to his limits, and I agree. Like, that match was awesome and intense, and just I loved it. I really, really loved it. It was cool. And then he tells the interviewer to picture NXT UK like a deck of cards, and he said that he's the ace in the deck, and that Fabian was one of the cards, and that he was just gonna pick out other cards, like, until he was given another shot at fighting Pete, because he feels like he earned an opportunity at facing Pete again, but he's gonna keep fighting people until Johnny Saint, like, gives him the opportunity back. Like, I swear, Jordan is an awesome talker. He's a great talker, and he's like, while his character sometimes really annoys me, it's just like that little analogy was pretty cool. Like, that was a little unique to me. Like, I like that. And yeah, that's all I can really say for that. I really liked it. Um and then next was Mark Andrews versus Fabian Achner. Achner? Achner. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry. Um but it starts, they do their mutual handshake. They had their little handshake, which I love it when, like, the wrestlers, like, start out with, like, showing respect to each other, especially if one of them is having a match for the first time, and so they're just shaking hands to be like, good luck, man. It's like, it's cool. Mark started out strong, then Fabian got control. The match was very, like, back and forth, but also very fast-paced and very good at the same time. Like, Mark had a lot of high spots, but Fabian kept being very, very impressive. And then at the end, like, the match was really good. Like, it was very, very good, and I was entertained. I liked the stuff I was seeing, but I was also writing notes at the same time, so I was, like, clicking back and forth at everything. But also, like, but the ending really, it had, sorry, my hair. God, I'm all vain. Okay. But it's unedited. Sorry. It's unedited. I'm sorry. But anyway, the end of the match was, like, Fabian got Mark on the outside, and he tossed him into steel steps, then, like, ran and, like, whammed him into the steps again, and then he went and he got Mark back in the ring. Mark got back in the ring at the count of 9. But then Fabian, like, I don't know what it was he did. I don't know what the name of this thing is that he did. Like, I don't know if it was just, like, I don't know if he just, like, planted him or what he did, but he did this, like, move, and it got the 3 count, and he got the win over Mark. So I was rooting for Mark. I wanted Mark to win, but I do like it when people who debut, like, win on their first time, because it, like, gives you a good impression of them. And also Fabian, like, he's a good worker. Like, I would love to see more of him, and I'm happy that I will in the future get to see more of him. Next, it was said that Johnny Saint had made Sid Scala his assistant general manager. And so while he's being interviewed about that, and while Sid is being interviewed about that, and said, never mind. Whoa, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Obviously, I'm just tired and doing this in one shot, like, so. Also, it's the first one, so just excuse any weirdness that comes from this one. But anyway, while Sid was doing the interview, Rhea Ripley interrupted and said that she didn't understand why the interview was being focused on Sid when it should be focused on her, because she had just become the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion the week before. And she doesn't like Sid being general manager, being the general manager's assistant, and that, like, she just hopes they pick someone good for her as the first opponent, even though, like, she also said she wanted to pick the person herself, and, like, that she wanted to, so, yeah. Wow, this is really awkward. I'm sorry. Okay, I promise it will get better. The next match was Nina Samuels versus Isla Dawn. See, Nina started off strong, like, from the get-go, but then Isla got her into a side headlock. Nina got out and immediately got the control back. After dodging a spot in the corner, Isla gets control back. The match wasn't very long. There was just, like, a bunch of, like, back and forth stuff, but finally, like, Isla, like, planted Nina Samuels to the mat. Like, I don't know exactly what she did, but she just, like, had her hooked and just planted her right to the mat and got the win. So I was very happy when Isla won. I like Isla. I love her style, and I love seeing her fight. And getting to see her, like, win more matches and stuff, like, that's cool for me. So I enjoyed that. Next, it's going to be Eddie Dennis going against Tucker. Eddie Dennis scares the life out of me. Just Eddie, I love his style, I love his work ethic, but he scares me. I don't know why, he just really, really scares me. Okay, I can't explain it, he scares me, that's all I can say. But before that match, we had a look back on Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm's match in the finals of the NXT UK Women's Championship Tournament. I didn't see that episode last week when it aired because I was watching a movie with my mom, so I didn't see it. And I don't know why I didn't think to watch the episode again, I just didn't. But seeing that footage, like, when Toni, like, her her back hitting the ring apron, and when she said she couldn't feel her hands for a second, it's like, whoa, okay. So, luckily Tony's okay, I guess, and she said the injury only made her more determined to fight harder, so I guess she's in the performance center right now training so she can come back even harder. Like, when this was taped, I mean, like, everything I say is just based on the episode at the time, like, even, like, I mean, you know, right? Like, I think you know. I hope so. Wow. I am not used to doing reviews. I'm sorry. Okay. I keep saying it, but I promise I'll get used to it sometime. Um, yeah, let's just move on. Okay, so it's Tucker versus Eddie Dennis. There's a little video package at the beginning that shows all of Eddie's wins, and yeah, he earned them. He's he definitely earned those wins, and he was taken to the limit on the last week by Ashton. So I love Ashton Smith. Okay, like I'm a huge fan of him already, and like seeing when Ashton actually knocked Eddie down for the first time, and that was like one of the first times I'd ever seen Eddie get knocked off his feet and actually stay down for a second. I'm like, whoa, that was interesting. So so of course I feared for Tucker immediately, and I'm immediately just like, I fear for Tucker now. I was scared for him, like just scared for him. But okay, why am I saying but? Okay, let's get okay. Eddie has control from the start, of course. Tucker keeps trying to get offense in. At the start of the match, he kept trying to get control, but Eddie just kept getting it back, like, immediately. Finally, Tucker gets control by getting a back elbow off the top rope on Eddie, which was interesting. But the second he went to do I guess it's called flatline, Eddie catches him. There's some more back and forth, but Eddie's like basically just in control at this point. Eddie gives him a clothesline, does his finisher, which I can't remember the name of. I'm sorry, I'm still new with NXT UK. I'm new with UK in general when it comes to wrestling, so I don't know much about Eddie at all, so I forget the name. But of course, Eddie does his finisher and wins the match. And they made a point of saying Eddie is still undefeated, so I feel like they're gonna do something with Eddie and his undefeated streak going forward, and I'm looking forward to that. Like NXT and NXT UK, they do very well with like undefeated streaks, so like I'm interested in seeing what goes on with that. Okay, now it's time for the main event. It's Jordan Devlin, of course, facing Morgan Webster, and that's gonna happen next. But first, there's a little notice that says Travis Banks is going to be facing Wolfgang next week. Or, you know, the next episode. Of course, I was rooting for Travis, but I was nervous because it's like Wolfgang. So at this point, I was just kind of like, I figured Wolfgang was gonna win. I had this weird thought. I don't know why, I just felt it. So that's why I was just like, oh, okay. But that's the next episode, which we'll talk about after this one. But the main event, Morgan Webster versus Jordan Devlin. Morgan gets control from the start of this match, but it doesn't last because Jordan gets control again, like, right after. When there's a point where, like, Jordan's in control, Morgan is on his knees and he's, like, trying to punch Jordan's legs, but Jordan is, like, not selling them at all, like, he doesn't even care. He does, at one point, he does a backflip onto Morgan and gets a 2 count. After that, Jordan has control for a while, but because after the 2 count, he gets distracted by talking to the ref, so Morgan rolls Jordan up, but Jordan kicks out. But after that, he nails Morgan hard with a clothesline and gets full control back. Jordan at this point is getting very full of himself. Jordan slaps Morgan twice, which was not smart because that made Morgan like really mad, so Morgan got control for like a split second. However, like when he's doing like punches or something, the second he started to get going, Jordan like raked his eyes, and that made the momentum go right back with Jordan. Jordan slapped Morgan again, and this time immediately threw Morgan into the corner. However, Morgan gets a knee strike on Jordan. But because he's so hurt, he can't immediately go for a cover. But he still starts to get momentum. Morgan got a Hurricane Rana on Jordan and nearly got the win, but at 2.5, Jordan kicked out. After this, Jordan is fully back in control again. He nails Morgan with a ripcord driver, but is shocked when Morgan kicks out at 2. Jordan gets Morgan on his shoulders, but Morgan gets off. He headbutts Jordan, and the impact sends Jordan to the floor. That was cool. That little, like, headbutt was intense, and that got me. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay. That got my attention. Morgan, like, he tried to capitalize by, like, doing a running drop kick, like, through the rope onto Jordan, but Jordan moved. But Morgan was fine. He landed on his feet, tried to do something, and Jordan, like, lifted him up and tried to throw him onto the steps. But then, like, Morgan landed on his feet again. Morgan, like, he landed on his feet, so he did a flip and got onto Jordan, and then they were both down on the floor. As the ref is counting, he rolled Jordan back in the ring and went to the top rope. He went to go for a splash, but Jordan like got his knees up, and then he hit Morgan with a Ireland's call and won the match. That was the ending for the first episode of back-to-back episodes for this week's NXT UK. My overall thoughts on the show is, like, of course, I loved it. I loved every minute. And even though I was, like, going back and forth between writing the notes and watching, I was, like, very into it and really enjoyed it. And, like, I loved the episode. Like, the match was great. Everything was just, it was fun. And I enjoyed it all a lot. That's all I can say much for episode 1 of this. Now, here's the second episode of Back to Back. Of course, it started the same way. Thomas Billington, rest in peace. Honestly, like, just rest in peace, please. We get told that Travis Banks and Wolfgang are going to be fighting each other tonight. That both scared me and excited me at the same time. As I said, like, I was looking forward to the match. Then they said that Rhea Ripley will be here tonight for the first time as NXT Women's Champion. And I didn't know if it was just going to be her doing a talking segment or having a match, so I was excited to see which one would play out. So I was looking forward to that. The first match was Joseph Connors versus Stan Maloney. Okay. They keep saying that Joseph, like, unfairly betrayed Huxley, but Joseph said before their tag match, "Don't cross me." And, like, Joseph wanted to tag, but Huxley, like, just shrugged him off and just wouldn't let him and ended up losing. So, of course, Joseph snapped and just went off on Huxley. Like, this might just be my opinion, I don't know, but Joseph, you don't mess with him. And I learned pretty quickly in just that one instance that you do not want to anger Joseph. And so it's like, Huxley did that. And so he paid for it. That's all I can really say. Honestly, it's like, everyone keeps saying, like, it was unfair. Like, the commentators keep saying, like, it's unfair. It's like, Joseph warned everyone, don't cross him. Like, he warned everyone not to cross him. Huxley crossed him. Huxley got on his backside and paid for it. all I can say, do I think Joseph reacted harshly? Yeah. But, it's just the way it is with Joseph. You just don't cross him. Don't make him angry, or he will go on you. So, it happened. And so, Dan Maloney, I on Twitter accidentally said it was his debut, and I forgot he had fought Ligero, like, either a couple weeks ago or a couple episodes ago. So, I forgot about that. Honestly, if it's all back-to-back episodes, I forget stuff faster, so I, forgot about that. But I immediately was like, I don't remember Dan at all, but I like him. So, I automatically was, rooting for Dan. So they start by locking up, and Dan starts to get momentum on Joseph. However, Joseph has this thing where, I guess because he was in a bar fight and half of his ear got ripped off, he has this thing where he really loves to just grip onto your ear. He just, holds onto your ear and tries to rip it. So he immediately went for Dan's ear. After that, Joseph got control. Dan starts to get some momentum and gets a spinebuster on Joseph, but Joseph kicks out at 2. This match wasn't, too long. It was, very back and forth, but a lot of the offense went... Joseph had a lot of offense going, a lot of the time. Dan had some, but it was mostly Joseph. And so Joseph gets momentum, sticks with it. He says, and hits Dan with "Don't look down." Then got the win. So I didn't expect anything different. I basically had a good idea that was gonna happen. Like I said, I was rooting for Dan, but I knew it was probably going to be Joseph, and it was, and so, just, I guess, congratulations to Joseph, I guess. Isla Dawn is interviewed. With her accent, it's hard for me to understand her sometimes, to fully understand what she's saying, but from what I got, she was talking about the fact that she's using honesty and trust in her ability in order to get her to go up the ranks to becoming the next NXT Women's Champion. Because she wants to be the first person to challenge Rhea for the championship. That, I love that. And I want to see how that works. Especially when Rhea interrupted the interview and said that she'd already found someone, that she'd already handpicked somebody, but tells Isla to watch the match. And so that was actually what she tells Isla is watch closely. I'm like, okay, that's eerie. Yeah, but yeah, so that's gonna be the next thing. No, that's not the next thing, but that's gonna happen later tonight. Rhea Ripley facing whoever her hand-picked opponent is. But next, Wild Boar will be going against Dave Mastiff. I like both of them. I like Wild Boar and Dave Mastiff, but I was rooting more for Wild Boar this time. But before the match, there's footage from earlier in the day of Mustache Mountain arriving to the arena, and they're outside, and they get confronted by the Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang. While a bunch of security people are trying to stop them, Johnny Saint gets in and he just tells them all to cool it, and literally I think he told Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang specifically to just leave, so they did. I'm like, oh, okay. So that was just a little segment there, not much to it, but it's alright. I want to see more of them though, so it's good. Wild Boar versus Dave Mastiff. Wild Boar started out really, really strong, but Dave immediately gets control. Wild Boar gets control when Dave misses him in the corner. He went to, I forget what he went to do, but he went to do something in the corner, and Dave just, completely moved out of the way. And, because of that, he like whammed into the corner, so Dave got control. So Dave started to get some momentum, and Wild Boar keeps telling him to hit him because he was like hitting him, and Wild Boar was like really enjoying it. Only he didn't enjoy it much when Dave like knocked him down with a headbutt, and it was a good headbutt. Dave got control over Wild Boar. Wild Boar gets control immediately. However, Dave is like big too, so Dave got control again. Wild Boar was in the corner, and he did that thing where he runs and like flips over and just nails you in the corner. Like when you're sitting in the corner and he just like nails you with like this backflip thing. And so he got the win off of that. And while I was rooting for Wild Boar, I was actually very happy when Dave won, because I really like Dave too, so him winning was good for me. Okay, next are the footage from a while ago when his shoulder was injured is shown. And it said that he will fight Wolfgang tonight. I mean, it said for like the third or fourth time he's gonna fight Wolfgang. After that, it said that Ligero is going to face Tyson T-Bone next. But before this, Dave Mastiff is interviewed about still being undefeated at NXT UK. He says that like no one should underestimate Wild Boar because he did give him a fight and because Wild Boar is a great competitor. But he just said he got luck. He just said he was just a little bit better this time. And that he plans on going straight to the top. I didn't notice this because I was like writing the notes at the same time, but I saw someone starting to walk away. It turns out that was Eddie staring down Dave Mastiff. That when I realized that freaked me out like a lot because Eddie, as I said before, scares me. So I'm thinking that Eddie might want to go after Dave Mastiff next, and that just kind of terrifies me. Okay, so next is Ligero versus Tyson T-Bone. Ligero keeps kicking Tyson T-Bone's leg. Like, at the start of the match, he was, like, kicking his leg and trying to stay away from his right hand. Because, like, that punch can just knock you out, so he tried to stay away. But Tyson starts to get control with an arm lock. Ligero gets control with a headlock of his own, and when Tyson throws him over the rope, he lands on his feet and kicks Tyson in the head. However, the right hand that Ligero was trying to avoid gets connected. And so he's like, it looked like he was out when he was laying on the floor. But Tyson was in full control now. Like, because the referee started to count them out, and Tyson threw Ligero back in the ring at 8, then got himself in. Ligero started to regain control, but is quickly stopped when Tyson picks him up, then gives him a slam. Or I think it was a slam, I forget what it was called. And Tyson is in control again. However, Ligero starts to get control. He gives Tyson, like, he went on the rope and he did, I guess it's called sliced bread. So we give Tyson T-Bone sliced bread, but Tyson kicks out at 2. Ligero goes up top. Tyson moves, but Ligero rolls through. Tyson throws Ligero into the corner, then starts doing kicks. However, Ligero is able to kick out after a hard knee shot. Like, there's this hard knee that just, like, went wham. But he kicked out. Tyson starts to tell Ligero to get up so he can punch him. But Ligero moved out of the way, and Tyson was, like, actually sent to the floor. Ligero got, after, like, right after this, Ligero did a cannonball senton onto the outside and fell onto Tyson. Then he like made him get up and he got him back in the ring. Then Ligero went back to the top rope, did a splash, and got the win. So I was rooting for Ligero, so I was very happy when he won. Like, that was a great, I loved watching that. The next thing was a video package where Rhea Ripley talked about being the first winner of the NXT UK Women's Championship and how she was going to rip people apart, and then it was said that she was on next. So Rhea came out and addressed being the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion, said that she handpicked someone who she thought deserved to be the first person to fight her, and out came a girl named Candy Floss. I don't know who this is at all. Like, I don't know anything about this Candy Floss girl, except for I think they said she's 18. And she has pink hair, and I really liked it, and I just liked her style, so I automatically, like, rooted for her. Sorry, I'm gonna adjust myself in the seat. Alright, but anyway, like, I just immediately started rooting for her. So at first, like, Rhea, like, stuck out her hand and just, like, did, you know, that nice show of respect bow thing to Candy and just backed away. Like, it was, like, actual respect. But then she had that smug smile, so I'm like, this is gonna be interesting. Rhea started out well, and then Candy starts to get control, which shocked Rhea. So Rhea automatically just went hardcore on Candy. She just, like, went all out on her. And then she hit her with the Riptide and won. Rhea showed respect to Candy at first. Like, she, like, telling her she did a good job and raised her hand up. But then when Candy wasn't looking, Rhea just, like, attacked her. And just, like, started beating her up. And the commentators were saying that you shouldn't, like, get on her bad side or something, but Candy didn't do anything wrong. Candy was just fighting, was just giving it what she had, and she was just trying to fight. So it's like she didn't do anything wrong. I don't know what they're talking about, but yeah, that was pretty much it. That's pretty much what happened there. So that was that match. And then Morgan Webster was shown having a pre-recorded media segment where he was having an interview where he was talking about, he was just talking about, like, a bunch of stuff about tag team, about wanting to be in the tag team with Mark Andrews. And then he saw Fabian, so he went over to confront him, saying he didn't appreciate how Fabian treated Mark after the match. And then Fabian said, if you don't like the way I conduct myself in the ring, like, why don't you fight me next week? And so he left, and the media person who was doing the interview was like, sounds like you just got challenged. Do you accept it? And Morgan was like, yeah, I accept. So, and then I guess Johnny liked it, so he made it official. So it's gonna be Morgan Webster versus Fabian Aichner next week. So, okay, I'm looking forward to that. I want to see that. I can't wait to see how that goes. Then Sid Scala with Johnny by his side said that he was making his first ever announcement regarding NXT UK, like, takeover. But he said that next week, Trent Seven will be taking on Joe Coffey, and also next week, him and Johnny Saint are going to be talking about the soon-to-come NXT UK Tag Team Championships. So, I mean, I don't know what any of that has to do with NXT UK TakeOver, but, I mean, if something comes from that, then that's cool. I'm excited to see Trent Seven in action. Like, I love watching him work. And I'm interested in hearing about the NXT UK Tag Team Championship, so next week is going to be fun. But it's time for the main event, and it's Wolfgang versus Travis Banks. Wolfgang came out with the Coffey Brothers, and so obviously the Coffey Brothers kept, like, interfering and kept trying to interfere and kept trying to distract Travis. But also Travis's shoulder was, like, bandaged, so you know that's going to be a thing, because it started out with Wolfgang just mocking Travis over his shoulder, but Travis immediately just started going on Wolfgang. that is for just a second. Then Wolfgang threw Travis into the corner, bad shoulder first, so he immediately started getting momentum after that. Every single time it looked like Travis was about to get momentum, Mark or Joe would like distract him. Like at one point he went to do something and either Mark or Joe got on the ring apron and so he got distracted. Only luckily this time Mustache Mountain came out to help him. Came out to even the odds. Trent did something and it made it so Travis can get the pin. And so like he like had him rolled or had his shoulders pinned to the mat and so he just managed to get the pin with that. I honestly thought Wolfgang was gonna win. So when Travis won, instead, I loved it. Like, I usually don't like when people win with help from someone else. But I really liked this and I had fun with it. Like it was a good time for me. I liked watching it. So at the end, like Mustache Mountain are celebrating or congratulating Travis and are celebrating with him, but then they're standing in the ring. Wolfgang and Coffee Brothers are leaving, they're mad, and then they're like staring down each other in the ring. Well, like Mustache Mountain and Travis Banks are in the ring. No. Whoa, I'm totally messed up. Okay, sorry, no. What I mean is Travis was walking up the ramp with Mustache Mountain while Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang were the ones who were still in the ring. They just kept like trash talking each other as the episode ended. I liked both episodes a lot. I would honestly prefer if it was just one episode a week instead of two because back to back like confuses me a lot. But I know that's just happening until NXT UK Takeover, and then they go back to one episode a week. But of course, I have to do back-to-back episodes because of like the NXT UK Women's Championship and all that stuff. So I understand it. It just like kind of confuses my head. And I also have to get going because I'm starting to get a headache. And it's almost time for 205 Live and NXT, which means I'll have more notes to take and then another live review. Yay. So that's it for this. This was my first video doing a review, and there's another video coming later today or tomorrow morning from 205 Live and WWE NXT. So I will see you later. And I promise the 205 Live and WWE NXT review will be better than this. This is just my first time doing a review in a while. So, yeah. I'll see you later on. Bye.